I mean, if there's a Mount Rushmore of the area, his head's in the middle of it.
Well, that's a good way to put it. Mount Rushmore of southwestern Illinois, Ralph Korte would be on that mount. You're right. He was as people call mover and shaker. I mean, he got things done, and he knew a lot of people, and he was able to bring people together. I mean, that was one thing that he did, not only in Highland but throughout the area. He helped Greenville. I mean, but he was Highland, and that's where of course, he started his business, and that's was his emphasis was Highland. But still, he had an impact all over the region.
A heck of a story. I mean, because of the times when he grew up, a lot of people didn't have their diploma, but if you want inspiration, a guy with a GED coming out of the military, and boy, just there was no IPO, there was no massive cash. He just literally built from the ground up.
Well, that's a fact. When I first met Ralph, I can remember going to his office there on I think it's Broadway there in Highland. But anyway, it was on the main drag there in Highland, and he was making hog houses. That's what he was doing, and that's how he got started. And got into, of course, more and more construction, and the business grew, and it's now, I mean, one of the national construction companies for all over the United States. They've got work going on. So he built quite a business there, and he's obviously very proud of it over the years. And it definitely got an individual who will be missed.
Well, I can imagine in decades in politics, you ran into more than your fair share of people who really thought highly of themselves and their place in society and their achievements. But despite all of his success being a mover and shaker, I can imagine you had the same perspective I certainly had when I met him once. And you, of course, met him, dealt with him. Met him isn't the word. But, boy, just a guy who took his business seriously but didn't take himself too seriously.
That's a good. He didn't. I mean, when I first ran for office, my connection through the JCs with him got me to get him to help me, and he actually walked precincts with me in Highland, and was able to help me a lot in the Highland area, and I did well over there because of Ralph Korte. He did not take himself very serious. He was just a down-to-earth guy that everybody enjoyed being around. He was a fun fellow, and just the kind of guy that would do anything for you if he knew you, and you had his friendship. He would help regardless of whatever the situation. Those kind of people are far and few between now.
Well, he could have taken that money and had himself a place in an exclusive subdivision or McMansion or whatever in West St. Louis County with all of the creature comforts and all of that. And it sounds like he never had any temptation to be anywhere but Highland. And boy, when you think of the stature of the town, so much of that is about Ralph.
It certainly is, Ralph. The development of Highland and over the years, I mean, he had so much to do with a lot of the industrial community that came into Highland. With his construction business, he was able to work with people that were looking for property or looking for something to be built. Ralph would always meet with them, and he always said, "Don't say no." You know, if they ask for something, say yes. We can work that out. And he was always somebody that could get that done, and very very philanthropic. I mean, he gave a lot of money to the community of Highland, SIU Edwardsville, excuse me, and he was very proud of the fact that he was on their board for a while. He got a degree from there. He, like you said earlier, he had a GED when he got started, and of course ended up with a degree from SIU. So that was quite an accomplishment in itself.
I have to think he's a pivotal figure in SIUE's elevated stature, because I remember in the 80s they were like, oh, this commuter university, and they weren't maybe the force that they are today. And then when you think of people looking at them as the dominant school in the SIU system, which I think was certainly unthinkable for a lot of years, I have to think Ralph's a big part of that story.
Well, you're right. SIU Edwardsville has really become a university that is well known throughout the area and throughout the country, for that matter. Ralph was just an integral part of the whole development of the university. He was very active. Anything they needed to have done, Ralph would make sure it got done. He'd be involved in it, and so today, SIU Edwardsville is what it is, a lot because of Ralph Korte.
It just had to be a thing of pride, and still is, when you travel around in greater and greater distances, and you see that Korte name on construction equipment.
Well, he was very proud of the fact that Todd, his son, took the business over, and now I believe it's his nephew maybe that took the reins. But the Korte construction business has developed into quite one of the top 50 construction businesses in the country. Ralph would tell you that. I mean, I still communicated with Ralph over the last year, and just recently, even before he went into hospice. But he was always very proud of Korte Construction, and should be.